Week 7, Thursday Night Football. Let's get after it. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Craig Ben, a.k.a. Cash Cake, here at Daily Edge Sports. And I'm here with another PrizePicks video. Thursday Night Football, Week 7 already. NFL season is flying by, but we're less than a week away from the start of NBA season, which can't wait for. It's awesome to have all the sports going at once. Where we have that daily grind. We do have WNBA action, and guys are putting up slips already. So if you want to jump in the Discord and check them out, they are up and ready to get after it. But yeah, Thursday Night Football, ton of injuries already, and not really knowing how this game's going to play out. I wish we had a better Thursday Night Football slate, but with the Broncos and the Saints, there's just a ton of injuries on the Saints side. We really don't know what's going to happen. A couple guys haven't practiced, but we're going to give 3 plays that I do like here. We'll jump on. If you have a PrizePicks account you want to join along, use that promo code CashKeg, play $5, get $50 instantly. That easy. Link in the description below. Let's get after it. All right, PrizePicks desktop is up here again. I'm going to talk about 3 plays. This game just, it's going to be ugly, man. I mean, the Saints side of things, there are so many injuries on this side that I really don't know what's going to happen with them, right? We saw early in the week where some of these guys didn't even practice, right? Taysom Hill was limited in practice on Tuesday. Olave and Shaheed, they were DNP in practice on Tuesday. There's just so many different, guys that are questionable, that should play, if we look at Kamara, he's questionable. I think he plays, but he's questionable. We know Carr's doubtful, not going to play. We're going to see Rattler again. But, it's tough to kind of pick, not knowing exactly who's going to be on the field. So we're going to have to make some educated guesses here and get after it. And let's just dive in. I think the first one, probably one of my favorite plays out of the whole thing here, is Devon Vele. And 31.5 receiving yards. I want to go more than this with him. 2 games that he has played, he's done really well. 39 and 78 yards on 8 targets. 8 for 8 that first game for 39 yards against Seattle when he did play. And then the last game he played, being healthy, 4 for 6 there, catching 78 yards. And the Saints, they give up a lot of receiving yards. 2 wide receiver, 178. And the big thing for him is he's playing out of the slot, which, teams have kind of got after him. We saw Godwin do it last week. And, they just give up a ton of yards to guys in the slot. And Devon should be able to continue to do this. So he's one of my favorite plays for tomorrow. If I had to just pick one, if you were looking on a sports book and you weren't just looking to pair him up, Devon would be one of my favorite receiving yards. Or if you're looking receptions, we don't have it here on PrizePicks reception wise. We do have targets at 6. I don't mind if you want to take a shot at that. I do think receiving yards is probably the better way. And again, if you wanted to play it at this, I mean, that goblin is just way too low at the 10.5 number. But yeah, out of the slot, I think we're going to see continue to see success here. And with the Saints, they do give up a ton. So we're going to go Devon at more than 31.5 receiving yards. Second play we're going to look at here. Again, I think Kamara is going to play. Again, this whole team is kind of banged up a little bit. If you're looking for multiple plays out of him, I do like less than 70.5 rushing yards out of him. I don't love the rushing yards out of him. I think they're going to have to use him more as a receiver, especially Olave if he's not able to go. And if Shaheed is limited at all, it's just there's so many question marks this game. But I think what we could look at going is reception targets at 6.5. I don't mind this. Look at the last 3 games and even the one against Tampa Bay where we had the start for Spencer Rattler, where he had 8 that game against Tampa Bay. If you want to look at receiving yards at 34.5, I like this one as well. Those are the 2 I would really focus on if you're looking for an option for Kamara would be this. And again, if you want to look at rushing yards and on a single game like this, making multiple picks and entries, I would look at Kamara less than 70.5 rushing yards if you're looking at this. But that's where I'd kind of lean with Kamara, more on the receiving side, less on the rushing side for him. Again, as you can tell, Kamara's receiving yards are pretty popular, but you can get this line a little bit better on some of the other places that are out there. So maybe you don't want to go that way, or maybe you want to come down and take it as a goblin and play it a little more safe with him. But yeah, if some of these guys are going to be out in the receiving core, we could see more Kamara here. But they do play a lot of man, and that bodes well for a guy like Kamara in his receiving yards. We've seen what he's done over the last 5 weeks: 65-40, 42-40, and then just 24 against Tampa Bay. But the targets have been up the last 3 games, 9, 8, and 8. And I think we're going to continue to see that getting done, especially if some of these guys are being out. So those are the 2 I would kind of look at if you're looking to make a decision for Alvin Kamara. And then the last one here is going to be one of the most popular plays, but there's really not a lot to love on the Denver side. And it's hard for me to want to talk about the Saints until we get some more clarity there. So yeah, I'm going to go to Bo Nix here. Passing yards, we just saw what Tampa Bay did to these guys. Absolutely torched them. Saints ranked 29th in passing yards allowed at 262 a game. Bo Nix getting it done at this line. I mean, it opened up at 185.5, and it's already pushed to 191.5. So I don't mind it here against, they should be passing quite a bit. And if especially if we see Devon get going, and maybe we see Franklin catch a few balls, we can slowly see this thing up here. So I don't mind this. It's probably my least favorite if you're picking out of the 3. Bo Nix more than 191.5 pass yards makes me the most nervous. But again, if you're kind of looking defensive wise, this game could just be absolutely ugly, right? If a lot of the Saints are out, which makes me nervous, if they do sit, maybe just look at playing the under in the game and move on. But if a lot of those Saints guys are out, maybe Denver can get up. I know it's a home game for the Saints. I get that. But if they're missing a lot of skill position players, maybe it's a spot where, Denver can somehow get up early and they won't have to rely so much on passing. But if it's a competitive game, I kind of like this play. But again, out of all 3 of them, it makes me the most nervous with Bo Nix when I feel really good about Devon. That's the one I want to be keying on all the places that are out there. And then Kamara, especially if some of those other skill position guys are going to be out. That's where I like. And then again, Bo Nix really got to be game dependent for me. If you think this is going to stay close and a lot of these Saints guys are going to play skill positions, going to play, then I kind of like it more. But I kind of want to see with these other guys if they're going to play to see if it's going to be a competitive game or not, which it should be. But, you take out some key pieces. Maybe Alvin sits himself, we just don't know. But keep that in mind when you're making your decision. So with that, appreciate each and every one of you guys. Hit that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel. We'll keep trying to knock these out, give you a little analysis, and decide on if you want to use the plays, don't use the plays. Just trying to give you some thoughts of how I see it and use it accordingly. So appreciate you guys. Like always, see you on the flip side. Deuces.